Hi, Lorinda. Welcome to Essential Stories. I've been looking forward to this so much. I'm so thrilled that you're here.
I'm
And
so
as
excited
we,
to be here.
yay! As we like to start, we do sort of an informal get to know you. So your bio and all that information and how people can reach you will be in the description. So make sure you check that out so you can continue your conversation with Lorinda and check out all the cool things that she has and does. But we're going to play a little game called This or That. And I've known Lorinda for a long time. So I'm curious to see if I know the answers she's going to pick. This is always the fun part for me. All right, question number one. This or that. Have $1 million now or $5,000 a week for the rest of your life?
Hmm. $1 million now.
Be rich working a job you hate or poor working a job you love?
Rich.
This was funny. Wake up naked in a forest 5 miles from home or in your underwear at work?
Uh, Forest.
Okay. I see you making clothing on your on your way.
Leaves.
Leaves. I know. Like,
Tree
it did say
branches.
it was winter, so maybe you have a chance. Okay. Go backstage with your favorite band or be an extra on your favorite TV show.
Extra.
Oh, and Lorinda's a singer. Interesting. Okay. I got that one. Thought you were gonna- Okay. Never eat your favorite food for the rest of your life or only eat your favorite food forever. I guess they
Oh.
mean one food
Oh, never
because it
then.
says food, not foods.
Never eat.
Never eat. So
Never.
variety is more important.
Correct.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Last question. Be able to erase your own memories or be able to erase someone else's memories.
Someone else's.
Okay. There you go. All right. Well, I would hate to erase all the memories that we've had on this essential oil journey. And I'm excited that you're going to get to share some of those with the audience. I know that you have been sharing oil stories and teaching oils for a really, really long time. Do you remember now? What was your first memory of an essential oil at all? Like long before you were an expert, long before you were a leader in the industry and all of that. Like go back even, I don't know, maybe even to your childhood. When was the first time you even encountered an essential oil?
I think it would have to be when I was in massage therapy school.
Okay.
And this is going back like 25 years or so.
Yeah.
Um, they were never really a part of my childhood. I never really heard anything about them until I took an aromatherapy class in massage therapy school. And, it was very basic. And I don't know, I wasn't so impressed at that time. I was like, oh, lavender, maybe that's helpful to use with my clients to help them relax. But I don't know, maybe it was the class itself that wasn't so scintillating. I'm not sure, but I remember, they passed around a couple of things and that was it. It was quick and, like this is a thing that maybe you should think about doing, incorporating into your massage therapy practice. And it kind of stayed in the back of my mind, but I never did it until until I was invited to an aromatherapy party by Jennifer Minigas. And she said, I thought of you because you are a massage therapist. And I thought maybe, you would enjoy this. And then I reached back in my little memory bank. I'm like, that's right. I am a massage therapist. And maybe I need to learn more about this. Because by that time, I was a few years in.
Yeah.
I said, okay, I'll go. I'll go. But she called me on the phone and she's like, I think you should come. And that's how I met you. So
Right. And that was so fun. Do you remember the oil? I don't know. Like, do you remember like what about that class, or was there a particular oil that like changed your mind or made you start to think differently? Like I don't
Yes,
even
I do
remember what I
remember.
taught in that class.
I remember exactly what it was because
Okay.
at that time, I was going into the class thinking, like you're invited to another kind of a party and you're like, just buy the spatula, just buy one little thing so you can say you participated, but like
Get out of there,
don't
right?
come home with a whole megillah of stuff, right? Like just the spatula. So I'm thinking, just one bottle of lavender. That's all I'm gonna do. If I do anything, that's it. So that was my kind of my thought process going in, and I was sort of like, I'm not really interested in getting a whole bunch of stuff. I just lavender. And and at that time, I guess my perception of oils was, well, they smell nice and like that's about it. I
Yeah.
never really considered that they had any kind of therapeutic value. That was not taught to me previously. So you came along and you were the first person who said that. Like I had an issue and with my ear, and I used the oils, helichrysum and lavender, and put them around my ear and down my mastoid
There's
bone.
that lavender again, right?
There's
Yeah.
the lavender, and my issue was resolved. And I was like, what? I was so blown away that I never really considered oils as like plant-based medicine. I just never thought of it that way until
Yeah.
I met you and you shared that amazing testimonial from your own, experience. And I thought, wow, so if oils can do that, I bet they could fix a bunch of things that I have going wrong. And I had a whole list of things. And so rather than walk out with just one bottle of lavender, I think I did buy the whole kit and caboodle. And it was like a big package of stuff, and it was actually mostly supplements at that time. That's what
Oh.
you did for me. A cleanse, a liver cleanse.
Oh, liver cleanse. That's right.
That's how I started. So not really with oils at all, just with the
Were
liver.
there were oils part of the liver cleanse, or it was just a series of supplements? It was a series of supplements,
No,
and I don't even know if that at that time were there oils in those supplements.
no. Well, probably, but I
Probably, yeah,
think the oils that I did buy,
yeah.
individually were the oils for mental health, because that was my issue at that time that I was most concerned with. And it was a set of four that you had recommended to me. And I
Oh
just started
yeah.
using those every day. And I was like, whoa, wow, these are really helping me. These are really working way better than anything else that I had.
Now, were you skeptical at all? Did you think, oh, maybe I'm just having a good day?
Nope.
No, you were like, I feel the difference.
Like once I was in and
Yeah.
I had that belief, based on the stories that you had shared, and I think Jennifer had shared, a
Yeah.
couple things that had worked for her, like it just like clicked in my brain, like, okay, I'm in. I'm all in. I'm gonna do, I'm gonna follow the protocol and I'm gonna fix my own problem. Like I really think that I was very drawn to the idea that the body can heal itself. And
Hmm.
I have the power to help that process along. I love the feeling of empowerment and, taking control of my own health. And I had never felt that I could do that before. I was very, invested in the Western medicine system, like the typical system that most of us grew up
Yeah.
with.
Yeah, and still exists very much
Yeah,
so.
and it's
Yeah.
still there, and I
Yeah.
never really considered there was an option. I just thought, well, you got to go with the doctor and you got to do what the doctor says and you got to listen, and everything he says is right. And it's not necessarily true. So I think I'm a much more critical thinker now. And
Right.
I love the fact that I could, have this set of oils. And once I started resolving my own issues and feeling better, for myself, I said, okay, well, let me start using this on my kids. My kids were little at that time.
Yeah, they were so little.
They were 6 and 2, and they were always getting sick, always, always. Because back at that time, I worked for AT&T, and I was commuting into the city every day. My kids were in daycare.
Oh, right.
My daughter,
Easy place to get sick. Yep.
kindergarten, but when they're exposed to, so many kids, like they're always going to come home with something. And we just could never seem to get out of that cycle of sickness. It was just constant and it would just be passed all around our family. And it was so irritating. And I said, oh my gosh, if I could do something for their immune system and just help them, ward some stuff off, we would be all the better for it. And that's what started happening. We just started incorporating the oils into the family life and the diffuser and putting things on the bottom of their feet. And suddenly we were on a Christmas break and no one was sick. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. It's so great. So, because I can't even think, how many family vacations were ruined or how many, school breaks were ruined
Right.
because somebody was in bed and somebody had the flu and somebody had a sore throat and just like, oh man, this is a drag. I don't want to live my life like this. I want to be going out and doing things on our family vacations and breaks.
And
So
do you remember how your family reacted to it? Like when you're like, "Mom's got this new thing we're gonna try." Like, how are you received at home?
I think, my kids looked up to me at that time. Now they're like, when they're teenagers, they're a little more skeptical of you, but when they're little, they're a little bit more moldable, right? And they
Right.
hopefully they listen to you. So they were like, okay, mommy, like, if you think this is going to help me. And of course, my son, even and my daughter, they never really had antibiotics very often. But I remember one time just really struggling with my son, and it was like that pink liquid in a syringe
Oh,
that you had to like shoot inside their
and
mouth.
shoot, right. It had a
Like,
syringe.
no, like absolutely not having it, at the age of 2 or 3. And you cannot fight a 3-year-old. They're going to win every time. They just have that pure adrenaline and that will that they're not going to do what you say, right? So I remember those struggles. I'm like, what if can we try rubbing your feet with something and something that smells good and maybe this will help you? And he was like, okay. So it was so much better than like trying to like forcefully stick a syringe down my kid's throat and he was like bleh, like
Yeah.
pulling it up. And the thing on the bottom of the feet was like, okay, this is working. And they loved the diffusers in their room. They loved it. And it became a beautiful nightly ritual that I
Mm.
had with each of them for so many years. I can't even tell you so many years that I would go in and, say goodnight. We had this little routine and we turn on, they each had a radio in their room, no TVs. They had a radio and it was always 106.7, which is Delilah, right? So
Oh yeah, Delilah. That's so funny.
Delilah, talking, that voice was so soothing. And I would just rub their feet and, put a little lavender behind their ears or something. And they were just they were just so happy with that. And I was too. And it was just such a nice, close, like bonding thing. And I literally did it until my son was like 13. Like he let me do it like for a
Yeah.
long, long time. And then he was like, get out of my room.
Don't touch my feet.
Well, we still had the diffuser, so that was fine. But he was like, don't touch me. So but for so many years we had that. And it was I cherish that memory. It was really a good time.
That's beautiful. Um, yeah. So did your did your family gravitate to different oils? Because I just remember like some of my kids would gravitate, like my son, like these kinds of oils, like when they were little. Do you remember like what Leanne liked and what Justin liked?
Leanne always liked the citruses.
Okay.
So she loved um, orange and like citrus bliss. And she always loved those bright,
Yeah.
citrusy aromas. And Justin, he loved lemon for a
Oh,
long, long, long time. That was his favorite. Um, he had a little phase where he liked vetiver for sleeping, a short-lived phase, but he liked it for a
yeah.
while. They both always liked lavender. And as they grew older, their tastes changed quite a bit. And when Adaptive came out, Justin really liked Adaptive quite a bit. Um, and Leanne, as she got older, her favorite was Purify.
Oh, my daughter loves Purify too.
It's a
So
college thing. I
college
watched
thing.
Kira's
I think it's
interview.
a
I'm like,
college thing. It's
Leanne
like
would say the same
the
thing.
dryers smell terrible. The vents on my air
Yes.
conditioner smell terrible. Like,
The roommate smells. I mean, that was my
yeah,
daughter's issue.
yeah.
Like smelly roommate.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Purify is a must for any college kid.
I
Must.
agree. Yeah, I
Mhm.
totally agree.
Mhm.
All right, I'm gonna give you like a quick test. You're gonna take two oils and put them together and they're gonna smell good. What would you grab?
Oh gosh. I
What's your
like
favorite duo? Do you, because I know you have
I
I
have
like
so many. So
right.
my current one in my kitchen is abode and peppermint.
Ooh,
It's so good.
really?
So great.
Okay.
I love that in the kitchen. It just makes my kitchen smell fresh and clean and uplifting and energizing. I love, love, love those two together.
Nice.
Um, and then at night, I would say for bedtime, Serenity has been my go-to oil for bedtime for 11 years.
Wow.
I'm not kidding you. Every single night for 11 years. Even if I'm traveling, I have my travel diffuser, and whoever my roommate is, like, you're going to get some
You're gonna
Serenity,
get
guys.
Serenity.
And they're like, okay. But I always pair it with something else. So Serenity is like my base, and then
Okay.
whatever I'm working on at the time. So I really like Serenity and Litzia. That's a
Oh,
favorite. And I really like Serenity and On Guard. I do that a lot.
okay. And you taught me Serenity and Shinrin Yoku.
Yes. Oh my
So
gosh, I forgot about that. Yes.
I've been using that. I'm gonna try the other two blends. I love those suggestions, but I really like
It's
you
fabulous.
help get me to
Serenity and
sleep.
Shinrin Yoku is like sleeping in the forest.
Yeah,
It's so fabulous. Yeah, love that.
that's so cool. So
Hmm.
what wowed you? I mean, I know you've been with another company in essential oils and you were really successful there, and then you discovered doTERRA. So, was there one product that really wowed you into thinking, maybe I should look at this company?
It would have to be the deep blue
Okay.
rub
Deep Blue
specifically.
Rub. Okay. Yeah, now we have
Hmm.
Deep Blue Stick for anyone who
Yes.
is coming on and didn't go back that far. We have both
I
now.
love the stick too, but
Yeah, but the rub,
there's still a
there
good
wasn't a
market for
product
the
like
rub.
that on the market. Like you could get a
No.
pain relief blends and oils, but no rubs, no creams.
Right. And as a massage therapist, I was really looking for something that I could use with my clients. And at that time, this is going back 20 years, it was
Yeah,
biofreeze. Like that was it. And I didn't love using it. I mean, I liked that it worked somewhat, and helped with some muscle discomfort and stuff, but I didn't really like the ingredients of it.
right.
So I really was on the lookout for something that could replace that. And I was so impressed with the deep blue rub. And to this day, every client gets that in their massage treatment with me. At the very end, they get a deep blue rub on their back. And then I follow that up with a hot towel treatment. It's so lovely because it's like the cooling sensation of the deep blue rub with the heat on top. It's like the best. So it's like a signature thing that I have in my practice, and everybody loves it. So I would say the deep blue rub was probably the thing that was the most impressive and maybe the gateway product, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And for those of you who don't know, I'm not sure how we're working this into the conversation, but I think it's really important. For a long time, Lorinda was the only, I think I'm getting this right, the only certified aroma touch trainer in the state of New Jersey. Is that right?
That's true. Hmm.
Yeah.
That's
So
true.
can you touch a little, since you're such an expert on that modality and that, can you talk a little bit about, what it is, why you like it, why you're passionate about it?
Oh, it's just so amazing. And it's really amazing for massage therapists to try to incorporate this somehow into their practice because massage therapy it can be very laborious, for the giver, and
Right.
it's a physical thing, so when I'm doing 6 massages in a day, I'm like kind of spent, so
Yeah.
it's nice to have another tool in the toolbox that I can use, during those times when maybe a client doesn't want, a deep tissue thing, or they want something very light, or maybe they just have something emotional that's going on and they want some healing for that. And the AromaTouch is just a beautiful technique that uses 8 essential oils. They're applied to the back, and a couple of them are applied to the feet. But Dr. David Hill invented this technique, and it takes about 35, 40 minutes. It's not long. You could come in on your lunch hour and get it done. But people really respond so beautifully to this. And it's amazing, to see people respond so well. And they're always surprised that I didn't do the deep tissue or I didn't do. And it's just letting the oils do the work, right? And Dr. Hill chose, these very specific oils. It's not any old 8 random oils. It's like very specific oils that are applied in order, and it's balance, lavender, tea tree, on guard, AromaTouch, deep blue, wild orange, and peppermint. So those are the oils in the treatment, and they're applied in that order. And so each pairing works on a specific thing in the body. So the balance and the lavender work on stress and, just helping you to relax. And then the next two, tea tree and on guard, work on the immune system and giving that like a little bit of a boost. And then the next pair, AromaTouch and deep blue, work on discomfort and muscle aches and pains. And then the final two, wild orange and peppermint, just give you that uplift and just restore that sense of balance, in your physical and your mental being. And I've had people that have come in like crying, because they've had just like a bad day, or they've had a bad interaction with their boss, or like something really bad happened, and it just happened, and they walk in, they're like, oh, they're just really upset and emotional. And I'm like, okay, instead of doing your regular massage, let's do an AromaTouch instead, and let's see, if that helps. And they walk out and they're like laughing. I'm like,
Yeah, I
okay,
could say you've done this with me. You're like, nope, we're not doing a regular massage. We're going to do
yeah,
AromaTouch. And it's amazing to me. And you check in with the patient and you say like how, rate numbers, right? You have like a whole
yeah.
scale.
I ask
So,
people to give me a number on a scale of 1 to 10 in the beginning, like on a
yeah.
scale of 1 to 10, what's your stress level? And most people are going to say 10, 11, and then then I'll say, what's your level of pain in your body? And they'll say 8, 9, or 10, or whatever it is. And at the end of the treatment, I ask the same question. Okay, now that you've had the oils applied, what's your stress level now? And most people are like, 0 or 1. Like they're just like, oh my gosh, I have nothing, and
Butter. What is butter?
like butter, right? Like I have
Yeah.
nothing. So it's so beautiful to see, and it's like real documentation. They're saying the number in the beginning, and then they're saying it at the end, and it's how they're feeling. And it just shows me, it's proof to me that this is really working. It works so beautifully. So I highly recommend people try that if they haven't already tried it, and see for yourself how it is, because you'll be amazed. And it's such a simple technique, yet so powerful.
Yeah, and if you're a practitioner listening to this, or you're in massage therapy or physical therapy, or even any one of the psychologies, right? Like anywhere where you're helping people mind body,
Yeah.
reach out to Lorinda because she can still train you in this modality and partner with you, right? Like one of the beautiful things I think about you is that when you work with other practitioners, now you're a team, right? And you work together and you're constantly educating together
Yeah.
and going to conferences together and really being able to learn more. I know you have a conference coming up, I think starts tomorrow,
Yes.
learning more about the oils and what they can do and how to help people more. So Lauren is one of these people who just is always up on the latest education, the greatest technique. She's constantly learning and improving, which I love because if I need information, you're the person I run to because I was like, tell me what's going on in this and with this. What's going on with this?
I like to have my finger on the pulse.
You do.
Yeah.
You always in every sense of the word, for sure. Yeah. So, okay, everybody has an oil they hate. I kind of like this question because it's funny. Like, there's got to be an oil in that giant case that you're like, nope, not gonna ever use it. Smell.
I won't say not ever going to use it,
Okay.
because I do use it when it's absolutely necessary. But the oil that I really cannot stand the smell of is oregano.
Oh, okay.
When I open it, I'm like, oh. but I use it,
Okay.
because it is important to use
Yes.
at times, especially if you're really feeling under the weather, you're not feeling well,
Yeah.
you're battling symptoms, respiratory things, bottom of the feet is the only place it goes for me. And then socks right on top. And I don't even touch it. I have it in a roller. I roll my foot. I rub my 2 feet together, and then socks. I don't even want it on my hands. So
Okay.
that's why I don't like the smell. But it's very powerful and very
It is.
important. But not a fan of the smell.
All right. Fair enough. That's good. I'm glad you didn't say a lang lang because I know you and I have talked about a lang lang.
No, no,
I know that's
I've come around
come
the bend with the
around. You're
lang
making
lang.
peace
If
with the
it's
lang
mixed
lang.
with something else, I'm okay with it.
That's cool.
But oregano? Mm.
Oh my gosh. We have so much we could talk about. We only have a few minutes. Um, what motivated you to share? Because honestly, you didn't have to. You could have just gone on with this product, enjoyed your life, your family. You had a very successful career. Like, why bother?
I think that when you experience something so profound and you have these incredible experiences, and it wasn't like just a one-off thing. It was thing after thing after thing. It was so many things. How can you, like, in all good conscience, keep it to yourself? I just couldn't. So it's the same as when the new restaurant opens down the street and you try it and you're like, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. You got to tell your friends, right? That's how it was for me. I couldn't hold back because I saw how the oils and the supplements helped me first and then helped my kids and my husband, and how we were, all doing so much better, and how we were cutting down on the doctor visits because we weren't getting sick anymore, and how, we were able to just feel happier and have a better mood. And um, it was, how could I not, I guess is the answer for that question, because um, we just had so many amazing experiences. We had to share. I had to share.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
All right. You're Oprah. Ready? You are Oprah, and you get to do that fun thing that she does she used to do in her show where she would say, and you get a car and you get a book, right? Whatever. I love that part. All
Mm.
right. You're going to give away to every household in America or around the world 3 doTERRA products. You want them in their house right now. You're going to teach them how to use it. What are they?
On Guard,
Okay.
Deep Blue,
Okay.
Stick, and Serenity.
Love it. On
Would
guard
be my top
oil.
three. Like, if I had to only pick
Yeah,
three.
only 3. I know, but you're giving away that like
So hard.
care package that everybody gets to take home right now. On guard oil, deep blue stick, and
That
serenity.
covers a lot
It
right
does
there.
cover a lot. You kind of cover, yeah, it does. It covers a lot,
On
which I
Guard
love
covers
about those
immunity.
oils.
That covers you, especially in this season where everybody's
Yeah,
sick. On Guard covers immunity. Deep Blue
right.
Stick covers any kind of pain anywhere in your body. Knee pain, neck pain, back pain.
Headaches, toothaches,
I mean, that product is actually
breaks.
FDA approved as a topical analgesic.
Yeah,
Absolutely love it. So Deep Blue Stick for any kind of pain anywhere. And then the Serenity for calming,
yeah.
which people are needing that. They're stressed to the
Even
max.
during the day, right? Throw a little
Yes.
serenity on.
Even
Yeah,
during the day, it's like a little bit, but for calming and for sleep, there's nothing better, in my opinion, than Serenity in your diffuser. And you can put some on your neck, on your
yeah,
wrist, spray your pillow.
yeah.
But Serenity will help you get a good night's sleep so that you're falling asleep easily and staying asleep.
I love that. Oh, it's so beautiful. Well, as you can see, we could talk to Lorinda for hours and hours and hours. We do a very long form, right, podcast for this for sure. But we are going to give you the details of where you can reach her. Thank you, Lorinda, so much for coming on the show. As you know, you were like top of the list when I was
Oh,
thinking about the show to begin with. I was like, how do we share these really important stories? And your story really came to mind when I was thinking about who have been the greatest influencers that I know in this space. And you are, and you continue to be such an amazing, example for what it looks like to live a vibrant, healthy, long life full of joy and laughter and positivity,
Yes,
just really, really gorgeous. So connect with Lorinda. You're not going to regret it. She's awesome. But we end the show by giving you 10 questions, sort of a la Actors Studio, an old show that was on PBS many years ago that I really loved. You're going to give one answer or one word or a phrase to each question. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Favorite smell doesn't have to be an essential oil.
Stargazer lilies,
Love it. Least a smell you hate.
cigarette smoke,
Mm. What brings you the greatest sense of peace?
prayer,
What irritates you the most?
injustice,
Mm. What's your favorite character trait in a human being?
uh, generosity,
What is your favorite guilty pleasure?
Netflix,
What's the last food you'd like to eat before you die?
lobster,
Ooh. If you had a magic wand and you could eradicate any disease or illness, which one would you eradicate first?
mental illness, depression,
If I gave you $500, it has to be together. You cannot spread it out. You can't break it up. You can only use it in one place. Where would it go?
travel, absolutely travel, cruise,
Love it. Where do you want to go next? Any place.
Alaska,
Alaska. And one word you'd like to give the audience today as a gift.